Imagine waking up to find your loved one staring at you with a grin that chills you to the bone. Playing mind games that turn your home into a nightmare. I lived this terror. Stay with me as I share my chilling story of love turned to fear, and the haunting reality behind closed doors. My wife Lynn and I have been together for 6 years and married for 11 months. Our life together has always been normal, and Lynn's behavior has never raised any red flags. She's kind, intelligent, and thoughtful, and has always been the no-nonsense type. She doesn't enjoy anything creepy or scary and doesn't like watching horror movies. I remember when we first started dating, she agreed to watch The Shining with me because she knew how much I loved horror. She was so scared that we had to turn it off halfway through. Pranks and childish behavior just aren't her style, which is what made her recent behavior so unsettling. 2 months ago, I was in the kitchen making coffee before work. Running late, I was in a rush when I saw Lynn peeking at me from around the corner. Only her eyes and a strand of her long dark hair were visible. The sight startled me and I nearly spilled my coffee. I called out to her and she immediately disappeared around the corner. I heard her scurry off towards the living room, and by the time I got to the front door, she was out of sight. It was strange and out of character, but I found it funny that she was being playful. I called her a weirdo and left for work. By the time I got home, she was her usual self and we didn't discuss the incident. 3 days later, around 2 a.m., I woke up to get a drink. Standing at the kitchen island, I felt a strong sensation of being watched. I looked down and saw Lynn peeking at me from the other side of the island, grinning like the Cheshire Cat. Her eyes were wide and unblinking. I screamed in fear and she scurried away on all fours. I was too shocked to chase after her. When I returned to our bedroom, she was asleep. The next morning, I asked her about it, but she just laughed it off. She teased me, saying I creep her out all the time. So, we were even. Over the next few weeks, she started peeking at me more often from behind the couch, curtains, and even inside her grandmother's old trunk at the foot of our bed. Each time, she had that unnerving grin. I asked her why she was doing it, but she never gave me a straight answer. She just closed the lid of the trunk or slipped back behind the curtain. I hoped she would tire of this strange game quickly. For a while, she stopped and I began to relax. Then, a few days ago, she left to visit a friend. I was home alone, playing games on my laptop. Around 9 p.m., I hopped in the shower. As I was washing my hair, I felt that familiar sensation of being watched. I opened my eyes and saw Lynn peeking from behind the shower curtain, her entire head inside the shower, her long hair dripping with water. Her mouth hung open in a terrible grin and her eyes were wide and red, as if she hadn't blinked in a while. I screamed and jumped back. She didn't move, her smile unwavering. After a few moments, she slowly pulled her head out of the shower and slammed the bathroom door shut. I stayed in the bathroom for over an hour, terrified. When I finally came out, she was nowhere to be seen. The next morning, I decided to call her mother, Marianne, for help. Marianne was dismissive, suggesting I seek professional help. I stayed with my brother Chris and his wife Rebecca, who were supportive but skeptical. The next day, Chris and I went back to my house to collect some clothes. The house was eerily quiet and dark. Upstairs in our bedroom closet, we found a dozen eyeballs, carefully laid out in pairs. Suddenly, Lynn crawled out from under the bed, covered in blood and clutching a shard of glass. Her behavior was more terrifying than ever. We fled the house, and I went straight to the ER for stitches. The police couldn't find her and advised me to stay with someone and file a restraining order. Later, I received a text from an unknown number. "I found you," with a picture of her eyes attached. Now, I'm hiding in a motel, scared and feeling watched, unsure of what to do next. Each day since then, I've been on edge, constantly looking over my shoulder, feeling her presence lurking just out of sight. I tried to resume a normal routine, but the paranoia was overwhelming. I couldn't focus at work, and I found myself jumping at every small noise, convinced that Lynn was there, watching, waiting. The nights were the worst. Every creak of the floorboards or rustle of the wind outside my window set my heart racing. I barely slept, plagued by nightmares of her grinning face. I thought about leaving the state, but I knew she would find me. She always seemed to know where I was. One evening, I decided to confront her. I couldn't live in fear any longer. Armed with resolve and a heavy flashlight, I returned to our house. It was just as we had left it, eerily silent and dark. I called out for her, my voice echoing through the empty rooms. There was no response, only the oppressive stillness. I made my way to our bedroom, the scene of so much terror. The closet door was slightly ajar, and I steeled myself before opening it. To my surprise, it was empty. No eyeballs, no sign of Lynn. I felt a momentary relief, thinking perhaps she had finally left for good. Just as I turned to leave, I heard a faint whisper behind me. I spun around, flashlight beams slicing through the darkness. There, peeking from behind the door, was Lynn, her grin wider than ever. Her eyes glinted with a malevolent joy that sent chills down my spine. "Lynn, this has to stop," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "You need help. Let me help you." Her grin faltered for a moment, and I saw a flicker of something in her eyes. Fear, maybe, or desperation. But then it was gone, replaced by that eerie, manic glee. She stepped forward, and I saw the shard of glass still clutched in her hand, stained with dried blood. I backed away, trying to keep the distance between us. "Lynn, please, put that down. We can get through this." She didn't respond, only kept advancing, her grin growing impossibly wider. I felt a surge of panic and bolted for the door. I could hear her laughter following me, echoing through the halls like a sinister shadow. I made it to my car and drove away, my heart pounding in my chest. I knew I couldn't stay in that house, but I didn't know where else to go. I ended up back at the motel, shaking and exhausted. I called Chris and told him everything. He urged me to stay put and promised to come get me. As I waited, I received another text from the unknown number. "You can't hide from me. Now I'm sitting here, in this dingy motel room, writing this all down. I don't know what to do. Lynn is out there, and I can't escape her. The police don't believe me, and I can't convince anyone of the danger I'm in. All I can do is wait and hope that Chris arrives, before she does. But deep down, I know it's only a matter of time before she finds me again. The thought of her watching, always watching, fills me with a dread I can't shake. If anyone reads this, please understand. My wife is not the woman she once was. Something has taken over her, something evil, and it's only a matter of time before it comes for me."